Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harrison. I read, review, and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. And today we're going to be running through my weekly update for the 20th? Yeah, 20th of December. So this is going to be the penultimate weekly update of this year. The weekly update, I'm hoping to actually mix up the format a little bit in 2025, but for now, this is where I'm at in terms of the weekly update. What we're going to be talking about this week is what I have read this week, what I'll be reading next week, and then on top of that, what else did we need to run through? Like TV stuff coming up on the channel, YouTube stuff that's kind of gone in the past, going to be coming up. So yeah, it's an exciting time. It's very late on a Thursday night, which is why kind of low energy, but I'm hoping that you guys still enjoy this. So what have I been reading? So I finished Wind and Truth. Ooh, was that last week? So it came out on the 6th. Yeah, so I finished it a week ago. So I finished it and then posted the review like straight away. That review's done really well. We'll talk about that later. And then since then, I have mostly been chilling a little bit, to be honest, because I knew that I had some Wandering In content that I owed the fans to put out this week. Wandering In fans, not my fans. I don't particularly think I have a huge fan base, you know what I mean? This week I had 2 Wandering In videos to get out, so I knew I didn't have much else that needed to go. So I just kind of chilled, and I'll be honest with you, I caught up on some TV shows. We'll talk about that later as well. But I started off with Suppression of Powers by J.C.M. Byrne. So I got an arc of this one. This is the latest Hybrid Helix book. I'm only about 35% of the way through, but I actually am now off work until January 6th. So next time I am working, there will be a new president. So that's fun. Not my president though. So I have got, I've got Suppression of Powers on the docket right now. I'm really enjoying it. It's been nice to get back into a new Hybrid Helix book so soon after one that I really enjoyed, and this is the beginning of a new arc for Hybrid Helix, so I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of what that means and where we go with it. There's been a lot of big kind of like status quo shake-ups this time around, which is interesting. Really enjoying that one. I am hoping to finish that this weekend so that I'll be able to post a review on Monday. We'll be talking a little bit more about video stuff in a minute. I keep saying that a lot in this video. But after I read Suppression of Powers, I will be starting straight in on Crossroads of Twilight, the least liked Wheel of Time book, the least popular. I have enjoyed all the Wheel of Time books, including the Slog books. So I don't imagine that I will have a hugely negative opinion of this one. However, I'm going to kind of go in with the idea that I might not love it, because then going in with lower expectations is always going to kind of shake out better for me, really. That'd be Wheel of Time next. And my kind of thought process is, so the next book after that might end up being New Spring, because I do want to read New Spring pretty soon after Crossroads of Twilight. It's either going to be New Spring or it's going to be Fonda Lee's new book, because I've got an arc of Fonda Lee's book which is coming out in very early January. So it might be nice to have read that to be able to have a review ready to go on launch day. So maybe Fonda Lee's book next. But that's pretty far down the line. I know also my plans for January are to get my read along for Wandering In, Wheel of Time closer to back on track. In an ideal world, I would actually like to read more Wandering In. And also, I'm planning on trying to read the Reckoners trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. So I have read Steelheart in the past, but this was 10 years ago, and I read it basically in a single day. So my memory of it is foggy, apart from knowing that there were a couple of cool moments. I remember a couple of cool moments. So yeah, Steelheart, I will be Steelheart, and then the next Reckoners books. I've owned them all on Kindle for like a decade, so it would be nice to read all of those. And yeah, so we'll probably be reading those in January. And then if I have time on top of Wheel of Time, Reckoners, and Fondley's book, I will probably be trying to read, or like I'll be kind of trying to join a read along for Lonesome Dove. I don't own a copy of Lonesome Dove, and it's not in my library system, and it's not on any good offers online for like secondhand books or anything. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I will probably get book vouchers for Christmas, and then that will probably go on a copy of Lonesome Dove. So that is very likely to be what I'll be reading in January. So if you miss the fact that I don't do TBR videos anymore, that was basically your January TBR. February, I'm going to be reading Rivers of London with my buddy Tim Burbage from Tim Burbage Reads. So if you would like to follow along with that, I have read that book in the past, but this was even longer ago than 2014. This was like, I think I read Rivers of London basically when it had just come out. So if you're interested in seeing me do another reread, 2 rereads already planned for 2025, it's currently 2024. I also really want to read the Kingmaker Kingbreaker duology by Karen Miller again. I think it's Karen Miller. I can't really see the author, annoyingly. But it's The Innocent Mage and The Awakened Mage is the name of the books. It's a duology. I read these also when I was like 19, 20, so almost half my life again. Later, I would like to reread them, and I bought the set on Vinted for like £2 last year, and it's been sitting on my shelf this entire time. So I've got kind of like a few things that I want to reread next year. I've talked a little bit about this in a few videos recently, but my plan for early 2025 is to get quick to read books out. The Sanderson Wheel of Time books are likely to be quite quick reads. The Reckoners books are going to be very quick reads. I read one in a day before. And then Fondley's YA book, probably quite a quick read. Lonesome Dove, unlikely to be a quick read. It's a very long book. People say it takes a long time to read, to absorb. But that will hopefully be the counterpoint to all of the quicker reads. So by the time I get to it, I'm really hoping that I will have the time, I'll have the buffer built in of having read the shorter books to enable me to still get you guys one review video every single week, which is still going to be the plan, even though the schedule is changing from next year. That's books. Let's talk videos. So next week, the schedule is a little bit up in the air. So I have been thinking about when to post my Book of the Year video. So I posted last year in which day? I posted on Christmas Day my Book of the Year top 10 video, and I actually think that I would rather maybe post it on like New Year's Eve, because then that's literally the last day of the year. That also gives me time to read more books, which could conceivably go into that list. And then what else did I need to do? That then allows me to maybe spread out the Book of the Year content, so it's not all just like in a big long row. So one of the things that I was thinking about was doing, so I used to follow this website, long tangent, I used to follow this video game website called Giant Bomb, and they would post between Christmas and New Year, which was the time that they took off, they closed the office, they would just pre-record and then post a ton of video content. So all the same days that you would expect to have video, you still had video, but it was all pre-recorded. Last year I did do that. So I pre-recorded a ton of videos. Basically, whenever I set up the camera, I would do like 2 videos instead of 1. And then that gave me the time over Christmas to New Year. But this year, Christmas to New Year is a bit of an odd period. It's like last year, it was like a straight, like 5-day period, basically. Let's check the calendar. Where's the old calendar? Calendar. Okay, so if we look at the month, so currently we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos between now. No, not 8, 7 videos between now and 2025. So one of those videos is going to be my top 10 for the year. One of those videos is going to be about changes to the channel for next year. I'm still finalizing all of this in my head. I have so many ideas on how to make the channel a bit more interactive, a bit more fun, a bit more engaging maybe. And that's something that I'm hoping to do next year. I've got a ton of ideas and I just kind of need to start lining things up. So yeah, that's going to be next year. I don't know whether I would like to post the 2025 schedule changes and planning on the 1st of January, or whether I want to do that earlier. It's honestly going to just depend on when I feel comfortable and happy with having nailed it down. Anyway, so we're going to do, we've got coming up the Suppression of Powers review, the spoiler discussion for Winter's Heart, recorded that today, so that will be out soon. My day 4 discussion with Andre for Wind and Truth will be out soon. We haven't actually recorded any more yet, but we don't need to until after Christmas, basically. There's loads of time between now and when the next one should be scheduled to go up. And then I do want to do a superlatives video. I think superlatives are fun as a concept. And I would maybe be looking at, I don't think I've got the capacity anymore this year for a compilation of booktubers video, because it took a really long time to put together last year. Whilst I would love to email out and ask all of my booktube friends what their favourite book of the year was, I'll be honest with you guys, you can find that on their channels, and maybe maybe I should put together a video that's a bit different, not so much just another one of those compilation videos. So that gives you probably absolutely zero idea what sort of videos are coming out. But what I can tell you is I've already pre-filmed 2 videos. I'm going to be filming the Suppression of Powers video review over the weekend, hopefully, when I finish the book. Because I'm recording this early, by the way. So I'm recording this on the 19th, not the 20th. So normally I record it on the day it goes out. But I do that during my lunch break, and I'm not working tomorrow. I'm just going to be hanging out with the family. So no lunch break means no lunch break recording, And then, so that's 3 videos already. And then that just means 4 left to go. And that will be one of those, like I said, will be something like 25 goals and channel changes, something like book of the year video, superlatives. And then really, there's actually only 1 spot left. So, yeah. I think I might also do a dedicated video talking about maybe my thought process for the book of the year, if people would be interested in almost a behind the scenes of me writing the list, me thinking about the list and ordering it and that sort of thing. That might be something that I could do, and like record basically my deliberation with myself as to what I think I should do for my book of the year, and then just put that out as a fun behind the scenes in 2025. That could be fun. If you're interested in that, drop in the comments and let me know. I'll put that together. But that's probably enough for YouTube stuff. I mean, I'll let you guys know that the Wind and Truth video did really well. Really genuinely, really happy with that one. So that one is, I mean, I say genuinely happy with it. It's got 2.2k views for a review, which is like, 2,150 more than most reviews get. However, the clown interlude that I posted today did well. My series check-in video, I was expecting to get more views than it currently has. It's been well watched and people have been chatting with me in the comments, but I was kind of expecting more views, weirdly. Yeah. Oh, I need to do a December wrap up. I haven't planned to do a December wrap up, and I haven't planned to do a 2024 wrap up, which I did do last year. So, and a Q4 wrap up. That's 3 videos that I need to find space for. Maybe I'll push some of those to 2025. But yeah, I expect the December wrap up I'll probably post on like the 30th, and then my top 10 on the 31st, or maybe the other way around. But I feel like top 10 books of the year, if you can post it on the final day of the year, kind of makes sense. Anyway, that's a very long tangent, but yeah, great week on the channel. Subscriber growth has been really strong. We've got 50 subs in the last like 3 or 4 weeks, and we are like a hair's breadth away from 1,200 subs. We'll probably be on 1,200 subs by like early next week, which is great. Really happy about that. The one final thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was TV stuff. So I have been watching the Apple TV Plus show Shrinking. It's by Jason Segel and the team behind Ted Lasso. So Bill Lawrence, Brett Goldstein, those guys. And this show is phenomenal. It is really good to see a show about people who are not like put together, who don't have their lives in order. One of the things that was interesting I thought about Ted Lasso was that it was so very positive. It was all about like family and found family and friendship and that sort of stuff, and kind of positivity and belief. But one of the interesting kind of undercurrents of that show is that Ted is having, Ted is suffering with his mental health, but he's kind of suffering in silence. And Shrinking is almost the opposite. It's a character who's really suffering with a tragic event and is suffering like very publicly to his friends and family and colleagues. Harrison Ford is in it as well. He's absolutely fantastic. Jason Segel's incredible. Lukita Maxwell, who plays his daughter, is incredible. Jessica Williams, who is playing the work colleague and Jason Segel's wife's best friend, whose name is Gabby. The whole cast is great, like genuinely really nailing it. Michael Urie is great as well as like a kind of self-obsessed narcissist with a heart of gold, who is also Jason Segel's character, Jimmy's best friend. Yeah, really, really strong cast. Absolutely fantastic show. If Superman and Lois had not been coming out this year, Shrinking probably would have ended up as my favourite show, but God, Superman and Lois did it for me. Like, Superman and Lois had me in tears. And while I have gotten a little emotional watching Shrinking, it's not the same sort of thing. I don't have that same attachment. Like Superman is like one of the first fictional characters I ever remember liking as a like 4-year-old, watching the Christopher Reeves movies with my dad. It's a very different relationship that I have with these really excellent characters in Shrinking to a character that I've been following for my entire life across multiple mediums. Speaking of following Superman across multiple mediums, James Gunn dropped his new Superman movie trailer today, and that one, oof, enjoyed that bad boy. It's very easy to Google, so go on and watch it. It's a really interesting trailer. It doesn't give any plot away. It's mostly about vibes and visuals. I wish we had a bit more dialogue, but maybe there's just not enough dialogue to slice up that isn't like plot relevant, you know. Lots of stuff that I really liked about that trailer. I genuinely considered sitting down and recording a video about how much I love that trailer today. Like, I was literally like sitting at the sitting at my desk and chatting with Matt from Basking the Story about our Wheel of Time spoiler discussion, and I was like, I could just continue to sit here and do a like reaction video for the Superman trailer, because I'm a big Superman fan, and I also love movies and all that sort of stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe this is the thing. But like, I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of thought that's probably not what you guys want to see, because this is a book channel. It's for people who want to talk about books, who want to watch videos about books, and like, I don't feel too bad posting the odd comic book thing, because a lot of book channels also read manga, which is just the Japanese word for comics anyway. Like, manga is just comics, but in Japanese. But yeah, so in the thingamajig, in every now and then in the mix, I will put in like a comics video or a manga video, but I don't really think that it's sensible to do like a trailer video reaction. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that'll be something that I start doing in like 2025, when I want to cover some newsy kind of content as part of these weekly updates. So not just being like, this is what I've been reading, but we'll also be talking about like, this is what's happening this week, this is what's new releases and these sorts of things. So I don't want to do a fantasy news show like Daniel Green, Petrick, Bryce from Shelf Centered. I think that market is pretty much cornered and nailed, but I do think that there is a gap or a space for like people discussing and talking around news items, and that's something that I would like to maybe start doing next year. So hopefully that sounds fun to you. And you know what else sounds fun? It is 4 minutes past midnight, and what sounds fun is going to bed. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Again, low energy, but I had fun. Please drop down in the comments and chat with me about what you've been reading, what you've been watching, and tell me why you haven't watched Shrinking yet, because it is genuinely fantastic. Make sure you're also subscribed and ding that bell icon to make sure that you get all the updates over the next couple of weeks on my Book of the Year content. And there's already a few Book of the Year videos out, so series check-ins and one other thing that I can't remember. So, but yeah, there's a lot of Book of the Year content already out. There's also a playlist already if you want to watch more Book of the Year stuff. So I really do hope that you guys will get involved in Book of the Year and let me know what your favourites are and all that sort of stuff. Because while I have started prepping for 2025 reading by building an extremely rough like shortlist that I'll be pulling books from out of my long TBR, there's infinite space on the shortlist. So just, come at me. Thanks so much for watching, and I will speak to you on Monday.